Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. Your paycheck comes in, your bills go out, and you look at your bank account and you think, where did all my money go? You tell yourself that this month is going to be different. You're going to make a plan. Maybe you even open up your budgeting app and you set a budget, and then life happens. And somehow 3 weeks later, you're right back where you started. Here's what I want you to hear today. That is not a you problem. According to a recent NerdWallet study, 37% of Americans will have to rely on credit cards, buy now, pay later, or loans just to cover some of their basic expenses this month. And only 63% of Americans have enough cash on hand to cover an unexpected $1,000 expense. And I'm not talking cash like physical cash. I'm talking savings or extra money in the bank. So if you feel like you're the only one struggling, hear me when I tell you this, you are not. And I believe that for the most part, the reason it keeps happening has very little to do with your willpower, your math skills, or whether or not you're good or bad at money. I fully believe that there are real forces working against you. And the moment you understand what they are, you can stop blaming yourself and take a step in the right direction. I personally used to think that I was just bad with money. Like maybe some people are wired for it and some people aren't, and I was clearly in the second group. I was a teacher, my husband is a teacher, we had student loans, a baby on the way, and our spending habits were, to be honest, not the best. They were a little embarrassing. And I remember sitting at our kitchen table one night and thinking, is this just the way our life is going to be? Are we always going to struggle with money? And then one day a colleague, a fellow teacher, actually laughed at me. He laughed at me when he heard that we were trying to pay off our debt. He said, good luck with that. You'll always have debt because you're two teachers. I was speechless. But here's the thing. He wasn't being cruel. He wasn't saying that to be mean. He genuinely believed that because that was his reality. And for most people around him, it was their reality too. And that's what today's video is about. It's about why so many of us end up in the same financial situation and what it actually takes to get out of it. So let's start with the real truth. The world we live in is not designed to help you build wealth. It is designed to get you to spend your money. And I don't mean that in a conspiracy theory kind of way. I mean it literally. Think about how different things were even just 20 years ago. If a company wanted to sell you something, they only had a few opportunities. Maybe you saw their commercial during your favorite TV show. Maybe you drove past their billboard on the highway. That was it. You went about your day and you forgot about it. But now there's no just going about your day. The marketing never stops. It's in your Instagram feed between photos of your friends. It's in the TikTok videos you didn't even search for. It's in your email, in your podcast, in your favorite YouTubers, reading sponsorships before the video even starts. And here's the part that really gets me. Those ads you're seeing are not random. Companies are literally buying and selling your personal data so they can show you the exact thing you are most likely to click on. They know what you searched for last Tuesday. They know what you were looking at 11 p.m. when you couldn't fall asleep. They know you better than some of your friends do. You used to have to go looking for something to buy. Now the buying comes looking for you. So no, you're not weak whenever you overspend. You're not weak for impulse spending. You are a human being up against a billion-dollar machine that has one job. And that job is to separate you from your money. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? And if you need proof that this machine is working, let's look at what's happening to real people's finances right now. A new NerdWallet study found that only 63% of Americans have $1,000 set aside for an emergency. That means that more than 1 in 3 people, your neighbor, your coworker, maybe someone standing next to you in line at the grocery store or sitting next to you at your kid's soccer game, is one car repair or one medical bill away from a financial crisis. They are one unexpected expense away from having to put it all on a credit card and just hope for the best. And hey, maybe that's you right now watching this video. But here's the part that really got me. You may think, okay, that's a lower income problem. People who are making good money are probably fine, right? Wrong. Across all income levels, whether you make $40,000 a year or over $100,000, roughly the same percentage of people are relying on credit just to cover their basic needs. Which is crazy because what this tells me is that a high income did not protect people. And that tells you everything. This is not an income problem. It is a system problem. So that's the first reason why your money situation looks like everyone else's, because everyone is living in the same environment. Now let's talk about the one thing that nobody wants to admit to, and it all comes down to your spending. Now, I have a confession to make, okay? When things get stressful for me, I don't reach for a glass of wine. I don't go for a walk. I probably should. I don't exercise. I should. I open Amazon. Not because I need anything, but just to scroll, just to look. And I will say I've gotten better about this. I don't do this as often, but in the past, this is what I did. And somewhere between browsing throw pillows I didn't need and adding a $40 gadget to my cart that I would never use, and I was stressed. After buying those things, I felt better. I felt calmer. I felt like I had my life together for exactly 4 minutes. And then when I hit place order, I just felt relief, like instant relief. And the sad part is, when I struggled with this, when I really leaned into spending money when I was stressed, I knew what I was doing. I wasn't shopping. I knew I wasn't shopping. I was self-medicating. And that medication came in the form of 2-day free shipping. Now, here's what I've learned about spending money. Spending money is a dopamine hit. It gives us a quick rush of relief when we are stressed, when we're bored, overwhelmed, or feeling behind. And in a world where we're all more stressed and more overwhelmed than ever before, we are reaching for that dopamine hit constantly. The book I wrote on this, Money Made Easy, talks a lot about this because it's one of the most underestimated reasons people can't seem to get ahead with their money. We think our money problem is a math problem, but it's not. Like, I swear for most people, your money problem is not a math problem, it's an emotions problem. And social media makes this so much worse. You're scrolling through Instagram and you see your high school friend's beach vacation. Your coworker just bought a new car. Your neighbor seems to be renovating their entire kitchen, and suddenly, you're feeling behind. Even if 10 minutes ago, you felt totally fine. And that right there, that's comparison. And I promise you, it's wrecking more budgets and more people's money than any impulse ever could. So we know that the system, the billion-dollar system, is working against us. The advertising and marketing system is working against us. And our emotions are also working against us. But there's a third reason, and this is the one that finally made everything click for me. And it's that nobody taught us any of this. When I was in college many years ago, I had no idea at all what I was doing with money. My goal was to just not overdraft my checking account. No one had ever sat me down and explained how to actually manage a paycheck, what debt really costs you over time, or what it means to build a financial foundation. So I did what most people do, and I just copied what I saw around me. I spent money when I had money. I stressed when I didn't have money. And I told myself I'll just figure this out later. And later kept getting pushed back. Most of us grew up in homes where money was either never talked about or only came up whenever things were really tight. And when it did come up, it wasn't like this calm, let's sit down and talk about our finances kind of conversation. It was stress, it was yelling, it was arguing, it was, we can't afford that, with no explanation of why or what to do differently. And here's what I want to be really clear about. Our parents, your parents, did the best they could with what they had. They weren't holding out on us, right? They were just passing down the only money habits they knew, the same ones maybe their parents handed them and then their parents before that. But here's where our generation and generations after me, specifically millennials, are different. We have something that our parents never had. We have the internet. We have access to free financial education, budgeting tools, YouTube channels, podcasts, books, resources that would have completely changed the game for our parents if they had had them. Your mom likely didn't have someone breaking down how to build an emergency fund in a 10-minute video. Your dad couldn't just Google, how do I get out of debt? They were figuring it out alone in the dark. Our parents were navigating all of this without any guidance. They were navigating it in the dark, but we, you, me, We have a flashlight, right? We just have to decide to turn it on. We don't have to be in the dark. We can seek out resources and education thanks to the way our world is now. Do you remember that teacher I told you about at the beginning? When that teacher laughed at me and said, "You'll always have debt," he wasn't, I think he wasn't trying to hurt me. He was just sharing his reality. And the truth is, it is the reality for a lot of people. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. They have debt that never seems to go away. They have a savings account that never seems to grow. And NerdWallet actually puts a number on it now. They track what they call the Financial Resilience Index. And basically, it's just how prepared are Americans to handle economic curveballs. And the current score is 60.4 out of 100. And I don't know about you, but where I went to school, a 60 was not something you were bringing home to brag about to your parents. It means that most Americans are just barely keeping their heads above water. But just because something is common doesn't mean that it's inevitable. Just because something is common doesn't mean it has to be your reality. My husband and I paid off over $100,000 of debt on 2 teacher salaries. And I wish I had a more exciting story to tell you. I wish that I could tell you that we won the lottery, or we had a long lost relative we never knew existed that left us this amazing inheritance. But the truth is that no crazy viral moment changed everything for us. It was just a budget. We had to write a budget every single pay period. We had to make decisions about our money that weren't always fun. But those moments, those decisions paid off big time. Understanding why your money looks like everyone else's is the first step to making it look different. Now, here's what I don't want you to walk away thinking. I don't want you to hear everything I just said about the system, about emotional spending, about nobody teaching us this stuff, and use it as a reason to stay stuck with your money. Because yes, the system is working against you. Yes, you were never taught this. Yes, comparison is real and emotional spending is real, and the odds have not really been in your favor. But also, you have a choice. You can choose to opt out of the machine that is designed, that was created to take your money. You can choose to stop spending to feel something and start building your financial freedom instead. And you can choose to be the generation in your family that finally figures this money thing out with the tools and the resources available to you that your parents, your grandparents never had. That's the thing about having a flashlight. Your parents were in the dark, but we have a flashlight, but it only works if you turn it on. If this video gave you even one thing to think about, do me a favor, hit subscribe, because every week I put out content designed to help real people, not finance bros, not people with trust funds, real people figure out how to take control of their money one step at a time. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to start. I'll see you in the next one.